everybody, and welcome to this week's segment of our Meet the Chief series. I'm very excited today to be sitting here with Chief Master Sergeant retired Normia Carter. Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am excellent. Thank you so much for sitting here with me. I'm excited about this interview. I've been
Thank
waiting
you
for it
for
for a
thinking
while.
about me.
No, of
Yeah.
course, of course. Okay, so let's just jump right into it, and we'll start with where you from? What are your roots?
I was born in Philadelphia, but by age 7 or 8, we moved to Brooklyn, New York, and that's what I call home. I call Brooklyn home. And until I joined the Air Force, that's where a short time in Georgia when I went to school. But other than that, Brooklyn is home.
Okay, okay. So, what made you join the Air Force? Coming from Brooklyn, how old were you? How did that happen?
I was working in a buying office, secretary in a buying office downtown. I was taking classes at LIU, Long Island University, and I had to pass the recruiting station as I walked from my job to go to school.
Hmm.
And a friend of mine, this is back early 70s, so a friend of mine I'd gone to high school with, he'd been to Vietnam and Army person. He said, "Look, if you want to join the military," because I was telling him about, I passed the recruiting station, I'm thinking about it. But if you want to join the military, join the Air Force. Don't even think about the Army. Okay, good advice. Still, but as time went on, got tired of what I was doing at the time. I think I was divorced by then. Anyway, my baby and me. So take care of my child, and I wanted to get out of Brooklyn. Be honest with you. So I went in and talked to the recruiter. um, he did not mention the band. It didn't even dawn on me about band. I've been singing most of my life, all through school,
Hmm.
in church, of course, had taken lessons, the whole 9 yards. So singing was just something I did. I didn't think of it as a job. Recruiters did not come to my high school in Brooklyn
Mine
and
either.
recruit. Okay, so I knew nothing about it. Went in and talked to the recruiter. I was already a secretary, so they needed. Now this is 1974, so women were usually secretaries, clerk typists, that type of thing. So that was the career field he suggested. And basically, because I was a secretary, I could cut my tech school in half because half of it
Mm.
was for typing. Oh, that sounds great. I could get my daughter with me in record time. I'd be getting base housing, the whole 9 yards. Well, of course, that didn't work out that way. However, I came in as a 702, a clerk typist. Um, I did a couple of tours with Tops and Blue. So each
Oh,
time I went on tour and came back, my job changed. I was still a 702, but in a different area, like support in the orderly room or whatever. So the second time I came back, they said was too many of you in that career field, that shred out of your career field. So I need to find another job. I looked into social actions, and I don't know if they still have social actions now. It may be called something else, but that was divided into race relations at the time, drug,
okay.
alcohol, and EOT. So I was TDY in the EOT area. By the time I went to school, I was in drug, alcohol.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, Competed for Tops and Blue another time, a third time, and ended up auditioning with the band that was playing at the time, which was a reserve band. And this was, oh, I forget what year, 77, I want to say. Um, so, long story short, could not get out of my career field in social actions to be a part of the reserve band. By the time that worked out for me to join the band, of course, the reserve band had already filled their slot. So
Okay.
I'm forever grateful to Colonel Richard Shelton, who took me in and brought me to McGuire Air Force Base. And that was the latter part of 1979.
Okay.
So long journey before I became a bandsman.
Mm.
Did
So
that answer the question? I
yes,
got there, right?
absolutely, absolutely, we got there.
Okay.
So now you're a bandsman. What is it like making that transition, and what is life like for you as a new bandsman coming in? And I'm assuming you didn't come in at your lowest rank, you because you've been there for a few years now. So what was
Right.
life like making that transition, and how did you like it?
I came in the career field as a staff sergeant.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as a staff sergeant. And well, bandsmen, my instrument was vocal cords, so I was a
Yes.
non-entity, oh, you're just a singer. Uh, Not that they were, I'm not saying this that anybody was mean or anything, but there was just certain category I felt that they put you in if you didn't play an instrument. Okay, fine. My job is to sing, and that's what I'm going to do. Bottom line, I'm here now.
Okay.
Uh, the band was self-contained, so, and I guess you still do the same thing, your own
Hmm.
supply unit, your own
Yes.
operations, your own
Yes.
admin. So
Yes.
guess where my extra duty was? Oh, I was in
Admin.
admin. There you go. Stuck in admin once again. But it was all right because I was comfortable in that. I knew what I was doing. So um, it was interesting, not being involved in music as a job. Uh, it took a lot of work, just to adjust to being in an environment, a creative environment,
Yeah.
as opposed to a work a day, steady this, because everything was ever changing, and the personalities. Oh boy, okay. But I was a personality too, so we just grooved together.
Most musicians are. We're
Yeah,
special people.
absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so you're a vocalist now. You're in, and I'm assuming in your time in, because you retired, you were in several different ensembles. What were some of the ensembles that you sang in?
Oh my goodness. I forget all the names of them, but the Ambassadors, jazz group. So I
Okay.
sang with the jazz group. I sang with the concert band. I sang with the rock group. So pretty much every ensemble there was that needed a vocalist, that's where I was.
So, what was your thing? Like, what is your thing vocally? What was your favorite ensemble to sing in, or are you kind of
Oh,
just even around the whole thing?
the Ambassadors in the jazz band.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
me. That's me. I'm a
yeah,
jazz head. I love jazz. Love to
yeah,
sing jazz.
yeah. And
Okay.
I enjoyed the concert band, the Broadway stuff and
Hmm.
things like that, but most comfortable because jazz, gospel, you know, there's
Yes.
just that close relationship. So that was my comfort zone. Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely was not a country singer. I was so glad Reba McEntire didn't sing with an accent. I didn't know what to do.
It's funny when you're used to doing a certain thing, and then you have to come in and you may be singing, hard rock songs, but you but
Yes.
you, you make it happen and you figure it out
Yeah.
because it's about what your audience. It's about your audience. It's not
Exactly.
necessarily about you.
Yes, yes, yes. And I love singing songs with a story to tell because then you can really put,
Absolutely.
think songs that make sense.
Hmm.
That, yeah, I agree.
Okay. So, what were if you can think, what your most memorable performance, something that just really moved you that you never forget?
That's hard. I more remember places rather than performances.
Hmm.
So I can remember, I can remember, I'm pretty sure it was McGuire Band because we would go to New York and we are singing around like Schubert Alley where all the Broadway hits and everything, and being afraid that Jennifer Hudson was in Dreamgirls,
Hmm.
that I'm singing, and I'm telling you I'm not going. And I was afraid somebody in the cast would come, what are you doing? How dare you try to do, that type of thing. I remember we were in, I believe it was South America, or while I was in Europe, we landed in the wrong airfield. And the difference in the names were like 2 or 3 letters at the end of it. So
Mm-hmm.
here we are surrounded by these people with guns facing us, and they're telling us they're here for your protection. Yeah, but you're facing us, not pointing guns at us. Not, don't get that impression, but you're facing us and you have guns. And the reserve crew that flew us there, they had to come off the plane. Well, this was the most mixture of uniforms I'd ever seen, because I remember the pilot with these orange socks, and they're just parading off there. We'll just take care of this. Don't worry about what. So it's things like that. I can tell you my most embarrassing one was forgetting the words to the national anthem
Oh,
in front of these foreign dignitaries.
that's my
And
biggest
all
fear.
I could do was apologize and start all over again.
Whew.
So it's things like that. uh, yeah. And I start counting how many times you sing the national anthem. Okay. I wish I had kept
Mm.
a record of that. I really do.
You know what? That so now we have our ops, like we have to put them in like for every fiscal
Ah,
year, and they keep track of that for us. And I've never actually thought to do that because I couldn't even imagine how many times that I've
right?
sang it so far. And but what you said, every time I sing it, there's certain parts of it that I'll go over in my head,
There
uh,
you go.
to make sure I don't mix them up
Right,
when they repeat.
right,
Like I don't want to mix this part up with this part, and I never do. But there's just always that fear. What if I get up there
right.
and I mess it up?
And
Oh
you do it
man,
a cappella, so it's like you can't hide when you forget. You
no,
know, the music is not going to start playing louder to cover you up. No, that don't happen.
no. Or you gotta make sure you start off at the right key for you that day, because
And
once you get to the
that's it.
Rocket's red glare,
Yes,
you
yes.
guys gotta go for it or,
Oh
or
my
don't.
goodness, yes. And I think that was my problem, because in my head I'm going over it or singing it out loud to make sure that I'm starting in the right place. And
Mhm.
then once I'm comfortable, I would stop. You know, okay, I got it. And I kept doing it that way. So when I got doing to the performance, I stopped. I just could not remember. So now, whenever I do it, which is very seldom now, but occasionally I am called to do it for a retirement or
Mhm.
a some type of ceremony. Well, before COVID, anyway. Um, yeah, I have this like movie running in my head. What's coming next? So it's
Yes.
been working out so far.
That's the thing about those mistakes too, because I have a couple. It's like when you make them once and you typically don't make them again because they're
Right,
so impactful. You're like, oh, I'm
right,
never gonna do that
right.
again.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so how you had a pretty long career, very long career, actually a full one.
30
What?
years.
How often did you move or travel? What are some places that you've been? I assume you traveled a lot.
Especially with the, okay, I started out, well, once I was in the band career field, I started out at McGuire, left McGuire, went to Germany. From Germany, went to Scott in
Mm-hmm.
Illinois. Scott went back to Germany, and from Germany came to Hawaii.
Oh, you've been in Hawaii ever
So
since.
I've been in Hawaii ever since. Did 2 tours in Europe, which were really, I mean, that's a place to go if you want to travel. If you enjoy traveling, I was there 83 to 87, so the wall was still up. Came back in 91 and the wall was down. So we went to, I remember a trip, no one told me about, all they told you before the wall came down was don't look out the window. We were on the train going wherever. Don't look out the window. So of course, I had to peep out the window, or my
Mm-hmm.
little peep out the window, and the lights are out the whole 9 yards, nighttime. And I saw someone standing on the wall with a gun, of course. But oof, that Europe was interesting. We went to place everywhere from London to Greece and Turkey and Italy, and it was amazing. And being stationed in Germany, you could take a weekend, say a Thanksgiving weekend, if you had the time, and take a bus ride and go to 3 different countries. You
Mm-hmm.
know, France, Australia, Austria. You know, it was just great. That was I was glad to go back. I really was very happy to go back.
Okay. Okay. So at this point, you've done all this traveling. Let's talk about the road to chief because you actually have a lot of achievement in your career. You the, the first. Let me get this right. First African American chief in the regional bands, correct?
Well, female,
African
female.
American female chief. Yes, I know I
Yeah.
was leaving something out. So let's talk about that road to chief and that accomplishment. And what did it mean to you, if anything, once you reached it?
I think I'm safe. I'm safe in saying my goal. Of course, you want to make rank, but to say my goal was set at making chief, I came with no stripes. I had
Mm-hmm.
no degrees, anything. I came in slick sleeve, and as my promotions came, you know, I was glad for each promotion, and I did not make chief first time out, and it was, you know, I was enjoying my job. I was happy with my life. So when Chief came along, I think it was Colonel Linedecker, called me in his office. And I said, okay, sir. You know, I'm like, just tell me. You know, he was I won't say a jokester, but you know, he'd like to sit back and hold it back a little bit. You know, I said, just tell me it's okay. You know, I'm happy with what I'm doing. At that time, I think I even filled a slot as first sergeant. So my little counseling background with social actions that
Right.
came into play. So I was happy with, we all right, you know. And he told me I made it. And again, I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm the first female in
Mm-hmm.
the regional, you know, that wasn't even, I was just happy that I'd done it. And I could make my mom proud. You
Yes.
know, Mom, I came in with no stripes. Mom, I can't make any more stripes, Mom. That type of thing. That was the excitement about it. Yeah.
That's awesome. So it's like you're not even looking um for the prestige of it all. You're just doing the work,
I just want to do the
doing
job,
your
you know.
job. Yeah.
The, the the thing with making rank though, as you'll find out, is you get to sing less. I came in to
Oh
sing,
no.
not to manage people. Well, I got to manage people. Let me sing, you know. Yeah. But not that you didn't sing, that I didn't sing at all. But yeah, it was less and less opportunity because you had other people coming in
Mm,
younger than me, you know, more they had their achievements. They had to get do certain things. They had their steps to
to take. Yeah,
to take to
they
reach their
had to.
goals too.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, our chief, he just plays bass, Chief Herb. He'll get up there every now and again, and he'll play with us, but
Yeah,
spends a lot of time chiefing because
yeah,
that's just what you got. That's the job. So I do understand. I'm looking forward to my career progressing, but I do love to perform.
yes,
So
yes,
I
yes,
don't necessarily know how I feel about that, but that is my love. Love to
yes,
perform, love to be on
absolutely.
stage. So I definitely understand that. Definitely understand that. So how long was your career in total?
30 years.
30 years. Wow. And at what
Hmm.
year did you make chief?
98, 1998.
And that was what year in your career?
Oh, I came in at 74 to 24. Okay, 74.
I was trying to avoid
Yeah,
it.
24. Yeah, 24, 24th
24
year.
years. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
30 years. That's such a long career. Wow.
It
I'm
didn't.
not even at year 3 yet. So
Oh, a baby.
I'm a baby. I am.
Whatever you do, enjoy what you do. Then it won't seem like a job.
Yes.
Enjoy what you do.
Yes. I've heard so many people who have these long careers say that they just flew by.
It did. It really did. Even now, retired in 2004, and I look back and say, oh my goodness, this month, in fact, I've been retired for 16 years.
Wow.
And when I looked over some of the things that you might ask me, and I said, oh man, can I remember back that far? You know?
Wow.
So it's the things that stick out in your mind, you know. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, it goes by slow, but it does go by fast at the same
Hmm.
time because I'm sitting here thinking now as you're talking, um, it'll be 3 years for me in February, but basic training just seems like yesterday.
I
So
know.
I mean, it really
I
was
remember
yesterday in
basic
the scheme
training
of
too.
things, but
Yeah, basic training was traumatic. Traumatic. Because I came in, I was 24 when I came in.
okay.
Okay. So I'd already been in the work world, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak. And my TIs were, I don't even think, we may have been the same age. So to have these, no, one of them I know was younger than me. The other one, maybe. She was a tech sergeant. So possibly she was around my age, maybe a little older. And to have them yelling at me, and I remember one time saying, look, my mother didn't yell at me as much as you two do, and that, oh well, you're restricted. I never. And they used to hold these, I don't know if they still do, 341s. Do they have these?
Oh,
You
those
still
haven't
have three
gone
set?
anywhere.
Ah.
Those are still a thing. Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
they used to threaten us with these 341s and holding us back, and what do they call it? Well, holding you back. Anyway,
Recycle?
no,
Recycle?
it wasn't
It's called
recycle.
recycling now, where they hold you back.
Well, it was holding us back. So they threatened us with that. Well, my bed was close to the office, and I heard them reading these 341s and laughing one night. Well, that's all it took for me. I was done with it. I wasn't taking any crap off these people. So, needless to say, I never got to see any part of San Antonio. You know,
Really?
they used to give you a town pass or
Yes,
something. You
we
could go
still
downtown. Well,
yes.
I never got off the base. I never got
Wow.
off base. I was restricted. Then they caught me holding hands with somebody going to the chapel. No PDA, and oh please, y'all need to quit. You know, I had just, after that, I was just trying not to be rebellious because I got it. You know, you're breaking us down so that we're
Mhm.
even keel. We'll take care of each other. I get it, but don't be yelling at me. I'm sorry. No, but that's basic training. But see, I remember basic training.
I don't think anybody ever will. They say it's like the worst best experience of your life that
There
you
you
but you'll
go.
never want to do it twice.
Never want to do it.
Never want to
No.
do it twice. It's the same for us. I got made dorm chief because I came in older like you did.
Oh,
I came in at 26. I want to say I was
oh
26.
okay.
So yeah, and I had already been a high school teacher. Remember we were talking about
Oh,
that
yeah,
earlier.
yeah.
So like, yeah, you could be dorm chief and that. It was traumatic also. So
Dealing with those personalities, I can
mhm.
imagine.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then you just get yelled at a lot. When they can't yell at
yeah,
everybody, they yell at you.
yeah,
So I understand. That's funny. You said 341s. Like those have
yeah.
not gone anywhere. I think I kept a few souvenirs and bought them
I
back.
could probably paper a wall with mine. Um, what did I want to? Now I heard a rumor that now you can say timeout or something to your TIs. You can take a break or something. Is that true
Well, I don't know about
during
that.
basic training? Okay,
We
fine.
weren't
It
saying
was
time out.
rumors.
Maybe these new kids.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
I'm saying that
Okay.
like that wasn't me just to knock them on their. But nah, I don't recall ever being able to say
Okay.
time out. They'd be like, time
That's just,
out. What do you mean?
you're right, right, right. Okay.
Knife hand you. No, but I don't know about that. So let's see. Where are we now? So we talked about so let's talk about now. So you retired. You said you retired in 98 and you stayed in Hawaii.
No, I retired in 2004.
2004 you made chief in
Yeah.
98. Sorry about that.
Right, right, right.
Sorry about
No,
that. So 2004 you retired and you stayed in Hawaii.
yes.
So how's Hawaii? How was that transition to civilian life, and kind of what did you go do from being a performer now and doing all that for 30 years, and then now
Yeah.
you're a civilian in Hawaii?
Yeah.
What does that look like for you?
It was rough. The first, I'd say, year and a half, it was, I felt like I needed to be doing something. You're so used to doing something every single day. You're so structured. And I felt like I needed to be doing something. Well, that doing something ended up with my friends putting me down as the emergency person for their children and picking children up from school and taking them to appointments when their parents couldn't be there. And just, I was at a point of saying yes to everything. I finally, this is what turned me around. I finally took advantage of hopping, and I just
Oh
left, got on the plane, and for me, it didn't matter. Okay, I got to sit around at such and such base for whatever, and I was really lucky that there'd be bulletin available for me. And where do you want to go? Where's the next plane going? And once I did that, it
oh
was like,
man.
okay, I am truly retired. And met a lot of retirees that were, that's all they did. That's all they did. Go here, there, everywhere. So that was the experience that made me realize you're retired. You can do whatever you want to do,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
know? What I wanted to do, I was here by myself. Eventually, my daughter came and she lived with me for a while. My brother, after our parents passed, he came and stayed with me for a while. But for that span of time, I came to realize, hey, this is my life, and I can share it with somebody else if I want to, and if not, mm-mm. So that's when I realized, okay, so what am I doing now? Is do a lot of church work, um, volunteering. My brother had some mental challenges, so I am on the advisory board. He's since passed, in fact, recently, but on the advisory board to his clubhouse for um, mental health, people with mental health issues,
Mhm.
um, elderly, go back and forth. Funny, go back, take one lady in particular, I take her to her doctor's appointments because she's in the 80s. Sometimes you forget, and just to be there to help bridge that understanding of what's going on, what's going to happen, that type of thing. So during this particular time, the COVID, Hawaii has really been proactive, if you will, about sheltering in place.
Mhm.
So my structure is when I have things to do, make my list, know exactly where I'm going. So I'm out there as little as possible and do it like every other day if possible. And just try to be available to anybody that needs some help somewhere, you know, to include my community I live in. Um, they have different organizations that deliver food, or you could go pick it up. And
Mhm.
now I'll be part of the group that picks up food and then help distribute it through the neighborhood. But that's about it. Just being available, to help out when I can. That helps me feel useful during this
Right.
time, and helping others. So it works for me.
It's funny how those core values they stick with you
Yeah.
so long afterwards. The service before self, it doesn't go away.
Yeah. That's
Obviously, with
very true.
you,
Very
it's
true.
still service before self. And even you said when you first retired, you had to learn to say no because
You
it was
did.
all about serving. Because as a chief, that's pretty much your job. You're leading, but to lead is to serve.
Yeah.
So you had to shake it. But I'm glad that you're still out here and you're able to find purpose and still do what
Yeah.
makes you happy. Because with a career like that long, you deserve it. At this point,
Yeah. And
I'm
it's so
blessed.
difficult during this time when there's so much isolation.
Yes.
So that's rough, but doable because you can still Zoom our services for church or Zoom our meetings. I'm the president of our women's ministry, so we Zoom every other week, and I've even attended some drive-by birthday parties
I
for,
saw those, yeah, and baby
you
showers
know.
and stuff.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's been interesting. It's been interesting. This new way of life. It's ever changing,
Yes.
which makes it exciting in a way.
Yes.
Uh, yeah,
A lot of things are not bad. I do definitely miss, contact with my friends and loved ones. Luckily, I have my two kids. I'm counting my husband as one of them here. They keep me, a lot of company, and I can
yeah,
imagine people who don't have, just if who live alone, and the struggle that is, or could be for a lot of people. That's like the hard part about it. But in some ways, I'm not sure that I want to go back to normal because some things are very efficient,
amen.
in the way things are going now. But
Yes,
you think, like, why wasn't
yes,
there always curbside pickup? Why weren't we always being sanitary in restaurants? Why was this a
exactly,
thing before? So,
exactly. I agree. Yes.
yeah, curbside pickup is definitely my friend. I don't have to get out the car. Awesome. So yeah, some things are for the better, but I
Yeah,
do want us to be able to safely commune again, because I know,
yeah,
like you said, you had church services over Zoom. That sometimes you want to be in that space and sing with someone and touch and agree.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I do want to get back to that, but easy does it, I guess.
Yeah, we can't rush out there too soon because this
Right,
this is not going away anytime soon.
right, right. So I got just a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
Uh, One is, what would you say your biggest takeaway is from your career in the Air Force? What did you learn the most, or if anything, what would you want to pass on to the next generation?
I think anything you do, the key is communicating. Communication to understand what's expected of you, how to go about what you need to be done, and getting an understanding between you and whoever you're dealing with, be it a group of people, one on one. You got to, because we can look at a situation and interpret it totally, like reading the Bible. Read the scripture, totally different interpretations of it. It's the way you perceive it. It's your life experiences. And when you're dealing with people, be it one on one or a group of people, you have to get that basic understanding. What's expected? What do you need me to do? What I need you to do? Communicate. Folks, talk to each other. Uh, we tend to have our own attitudes and understanding of something, and then later find out that, oh no, that's not what I said, that's not what I meant, but that's
Right.
what I heard. So get an understanding between you and whoever, and I think that'll go a long way. That's my takeaway. Talk to people, get an understanding of what's going on and what's expected. Then you can't go wrong.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Okay, so on a lighter note now, one of the questions was if you can think of your most funny story or anecdote or experience while you were in, one that kind of still is a knee slapper to this day.
I thought about that and I could not think of anything funny.
That is usually the hardest one for people.
Oh, something funny. Uh, well, I think one incident on stage, because as a singer, you want to keep that composure because you don't, ain't no telling what you'll see out in your audience that can throw you. So I think you can relate to that. You kind of you want to stay focused. Well, you're staying focused, guarding against something outside of the people you work with. And I do remember one time, his name, oh, if he ever sees this, Barry Hitt was, he was, and I don't know why this came to mind. He was, it must have been a Christmas show, and he was dressed as a Santa Claus. And I really don't remember what he did, but I lost it. Not permanently. I think I was singing Santa Baby or something, and
Hmm.
he must have made a face or something. But I laughed in the mic and then had to quickly compose myself. And I don't remember exactly what he did. And if you're out there, Barry Hitt, and you see this, you need to messenger me or something and tell me if you remember what you did to make me crack up on stage. That was not nice. But that's the only thing I can think of. But and I'm sure there were many instances, but that's what came to mind just as we were talking. Uh, that I lost composure because I prided myself in no matter what's going on out there. But you don't guard against the people that are supposed to be helping you on stage, the people you work with every day. They're the ones that get you.
You just have to play it off and do a little
Yeah.
giggle in the song, like,
Right, right, right.
oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure to sit down and speak with you. I'm glad we got it together because our time
Yes.
difference is so far off. I didn't realize you were a whole 6 hours ahead. So it's been interesting, but I'm just so glad that we got to sit together. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule. It was an honor. And thank everyone for tuning in. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
And thank you. It was an honor to talk to you and good luck in the military or whatever you decide to do, you know. And vote. Everybody vote. Okay. Just
Good
thought I'd add
plug.
that.
Good plug.
But thank you so much of thinking of me and getting in touch. I truly enjoyed this. Thank you
I
so
did too.
much. And you guys are doing an awesome job being creative in what the band can do during this time. So thank you guys too, all of you.
Oh, thank you. All right. I'll look forward to talking to you soon because I will be talking
Yes.
to you soon.
Oh, good, good.
Yes, ma'am. All right. You have a good day.
You too. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye bye. Aloha.
Aloha.